Wow, this is the perfect setup right now. The perfect setup for Bitcoin. We have a lot of big things that are happening that people aren't even noticing. Some things to look forward to. A lot of the time, the market needs to look forward to something to buy right now, right? If you think the market's peaked out and you can't see anything in the future that could be bullish for crypto, then people sell. But there are a lot of big things that are happening here very soon. They're going to push up the price, in my opinion. We're already seeing Bitcoin move up to almost $115,000. Just a few days ago, people were so bearish, saying that this is the end of the bull market. On this channel, we were not saying that. I was saying, hey, we could fall down further, but I'm going long here because I think we're going to find a bottom. I think we're going to bounce. And since then, we've moved up about $6,000 or $7,000. A lot of positive stuff has come out just over the last few days even. I want to go through it. If you don't mind, though, hit subscribe so you can see future videos, because we will get back to a time where there will be news every single day that's massive game-changing news, and you don't want to miss any of it. So hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification. Also, check out my Telegram. We just gave away $30,000 in real rewards deposited directly into spot accounts on BYDFi. We had this trading competition that went on for a month. It was called a trading competition, but there were a lot of random winners too. So, you could trade a small amount and still get $300 for free. So we had like 20 or 30 winners here, as you can see. And this was completely free. It wasn't for just new users. It was for everyone that's ever signed up under my link. Now, if you're not on the Telegram already, we have 1,700 people on there. You can join, and there's someone to contact here that I work with almost daily, and you can make sure that you're under me and qualify for some of these free rewards. Some people, go to the App Store and download and then forgot to put in my code, or they hear about it, Google it, and then go to the website and then sign up. But you can make sure that you're getting these free rewards. Just join the Telegram and then contact MFF_connect. They can get you set up. And if you're a big trader, you can actually get one-on-one support with MFF Connect, he works directly at BYDFi. So check that out. They also have a pretty awesome deposit event right now. So even if you just want to try it out, see if you like trading, you can use low leverage like I've been using. We recently snagged the bottom. We're up 40% from a trade that was just a few days ago that had a lot of cushion, right? We wouldn't have gone liquidated unless we went below 105, 100, 98, which they're all support levels, and then gone down to 93,500. Now we're up 40%. This trade shows that we're down like 15.6, but we rolled a trade that was up over 100%. So we started at like $1,500, and now it's worth, I think, right around $2,600 or so. So still up massively, like 70% on that trade. That's enough of that. But you can see we recently flipped. It looks like we're flipping the previous resistance into support. That has been the story of this cycle. And that's why I went long here, because we came back down. We had a lot of cushion here because we had already fallen 15%. And we've seen this many times before. You can see flipping the prior resistance into support here. We did that back here as well. This has been something that's happened over and over and over again, and it offers a massive opportunity. Now, the market is looking good today, right? Bitcoin's at almost $115,000. Just last week, everyone was bearish, or 2 weeks ago, but honestly, there was no bad news. As I said on the channel, like, we could always fall further, but there was really nothing fundamentally bad that happened to make us fall down. We just had some whale selling, taking profits, and we had some liquidations and manipulation. The NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P 500, all looking quite good today, right? They're all up 0.5% to over 1% here. And a lot of that is due to the fact that they're pricing in Fed rate cuts. We just got CPI. The month over month was a little bit higher on headline than expected, but year over year, 2.9%, which hit expectations. CPI core came in at 3.1%, which hit expectations. So the lagging indicator of CPI, so what tells us information about the past, was at expectations. The leading indicator, PPI, which is what we got yesterday, shows that we're actually seeing deflation. We're actually seeing inflation go negative. And it was much lower than expected. So in a lot of people's minds, okay, inflation may be above 2%, but now the Fed's saying that they'll cut even if we don't get to 2% inflation, which used to be the goal. Now they're saying we don't need that to be the goal. We can move it up. So the inflation is staying low. And then at the same time, we just saw U.S. initial jobless claims come in at 263,000, above expectations of 235. So the labor market slightly worse than expected. This leads the market to price in rate cuts. Right? This is just after we saw the payrolls revised down by 911,000 jobs over last year. So the Fed basically guaranteed to cut rates next week. That puts more money into risk on assets, because if you're someone managing a lot of money, you realize I'm going to get a 0.25% less on my deposits, and then a month later I'm going to have that again, another 0.25% less, and then a month or two later another 0.25% less, and your savings account or your money market or your treasury bonds just goes down. And we're starting to see a rotation in the ETFs as well. I mean, just yesterday we saw $741 million of inflows. You know, we've been choppy the last month or so with the Bitcoin ETFs. Overall, we've seen an inflow, but yesterday was an outstanding day. Ethereum ETFs as well saw $172 million in inflows. This was led by BlackRock and Fidelity. On the Bitcoin side, it was led by ARK, Fidelity, and IBIT, or BlackRock. Now, like I said at the beginning, a lot of people look to the future and want to be excited about different catalysts, right? Things that could go well, that would cause more money to come into crypto. And if there is something like that, they're willing to buy now. They're willing to trade now, right? Just Friday, Strategy missed the S&P 500 inclusion. So we can look forward to that, right? If people are forced to buy Strategy in their retirement accounts, when they're buying the S&P 500 in a brokerage account, that will cause the NAV to go up, which will allow them to issue more debt or sell more shares, and then they'll be able to buy more Bitcoin, which will force up the price of Bitcoin. At the same time, the SEC just delayed staking for BlackRock's spot Ethereum ETF. This is, I think, going to be one of the largest catalysts for Ethereum. There's going to be a lot of money that wants a 3 or 4% yield, or for it to be accretive. I don't know how this would work, the ETF, if they'd allow it to buy more Ethereum. I'm not sure if they're even allowed to do that, because it's supposed to stay 1-to-1 with Ethereum. So I don't know if they'd issue some kind of dividend or what, but this will be interesting. They are delaying the spot ETF staking, but that is something to look forward to in the future. BlackRock is preparing to launch their Bitcoin ETF in the UK in October, so it's not even worldwide yet. They are going to launch in more areas, and then people will be able to buy for the first time, or institutions will be able to buy. Hedge funds are going to be able to buy for the first time. The SEC delays their decision on the Franklin Templeton's XRP and Sol ETFs. I think this could be the massive catalyst for altcoins. The new deadline is set for November 14. I don't know if this is the final deadline. It says the new deadline is set for November 14, but this is right smack dab in the middle of the most bullish quarter for crypto. So if this gets approved, it would not surprise me if we saw a massive inflow into Solana, XRP. Solana is looking really good too. Over the last month, I've said a handful of times that I thought Solana could outpace a lot of crypto, because it was kind of left behind when Ethereum had its rally, but it's quicker, cheaper than Ethereum. And yeah, it's gone up from $155 at the beginning of August, so about a month ago, to $226. It's basically done a 50% move, just short of a 50% move in 5 weeks. So if you do want to trade crypto, or if you want to buy crypto, you have to have a long-term time horizon when you buy spot crypto. You can't just assume that you're going to sell it next week for a 10% profit, especially if you need the money. I would not suggest doing that. But if you're trading crypto, I still think we have a lot further to go this cycle. I think we could see a lengthening cycle. I think we will see a very bullish fourth quarter, especially with the Fed cutting rates. It will bring more money into risk on assets. And I could be wrong. Maybe earnings turn down or we go through some kind of economic hardship. But right now, companies' earnings are fantastic. Like, we had one of the best earnings seasons that I've ever seen recently, and it just kind of wrapped up. We have a weakening jobs market, but it's not too bad, but it's bad enough that the Fed will cut rates. I think the market looks really good. I do. I don't think it's the worst time to buy as long as you're willing to hold long term, right? Whenever you buy crypto, I think you have to be willing to hold for years and years. But if you're looking to trade, I think now's still an explosive time. Again, if you do want to check out the link to BYDFi or BTCC, BitUniX, WEEX, BLOFIN, there are links to all those underneath the video. They have special bonuses right now. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all soon.